All right, so here's that trailer walk around that I have here, just to kind of show you what's going on here. So first things first, this is my pressure washer hose reel. This is 200 feet. Has a locking mechanism. All pressure reels have these locking mechanisms. I mounted it onto the tongue of my trailer, like right there, so it doesn't use up space on the trailer. They all come kind of like that. You can bolt them on directly into the frame if you want to, if you had a wooden frame possibly, but I kind of decided to use this space here. You want most of your reels on this side, so when you pull into the customer driveway, let's say the house is over there, most of the time that's where you pulling up that way, or from this way, whatever makes sense. I mean, so you're not opposite of traffic. You pull up and you start unwinding your hoses to the house, same direction. So you're not like crossing hose this way, crossing this one this way. You want to make sure all your reels are facing the same way to the house. So if you pull up by the curb, your trailer most of the time is going to stay in the curb unless customers give you permission to drive in their driveway. And make sure you have a good car that's not leaking oil, because I actually had to go to some other customers that, not me, but other people leaked their oil on their pavement, and I had to fix it, and they were very furious about that. So that's why the rule is with any service industry, park on the street, park by the curb, and you need to have enough hoses to reach wherever that you need to go where the water spigot is. So I have two 100 feet lines. That's why you see different colors. So that's 100 feet of pressure hose, and that's 100 feet of pressure hose. If this one rips, I can still use that one. You know, I can bring the trailer closer. Last week I was in a situation where we had to whip out 200 feet, and I used it all up because the house and their backside was too far away. So 200 feet, I'd say minimum. You can get away with 100 if you're, like, let's say, just cleaning only driveways. You can get away with 100, but 200 is definitely a way to go. My gas can right there, 5-gallon minimum. It goes pretty quick. That's my 18-inch surface cleaner, strapped down on with bungee cord. So everything's pretty solid. Nothing's gonna go anywhere. Everything's holding down. So that's 18-inch surface cleaner. Do upgrade your tips. There's different tips you need to replace them that are proper sized for GPM machine. So I ordered those. I have not replaced them yet, but I will. Just kind of throwing it out there. You do want to have proper tips, and I'll drop you a link. I'll drop you a link for the correct tips that you need. I forgot the size of them. I think it's 25, I think. Don't quote me, but I'll look it up. Right here is my garden hose reel that gets reeled out all the way to the water spigot of the house. So I have 100 foot, not enough. I have another 100 foot inside the car. So I don't know if this reel can handle 200 feet of hose, but I mean, it seems like I still have space for another hose, but maybe 50. I don't know. I'll try 100. It's living in my car. I haven't edited, but most of the time 100 feet served me well. Again, it's bungeed, so it's not gonna be untied here when I'm driving, so it's not gonna unwind and go underneath my tires. And this is the reel that I brought, and I bolted on through straight to the trailer. If you have wooden, you can drill it straight into the wood, or if you have mesh, just use bolts like this from top and bottom and just kind of sandwich clamp it. And another modification that I did to this reel, kind of like this one, that it locks a pin here. So this is locked, as you can see these holes. So as you spin this, you pull this out. Right now it's gonna lock it in because a lot of stuff will hang against it. So you pull this pin, turn it 90 degrees, release it, so then it becomes free spinning. When you want to lock it, you put it straight back in 90 degrees, and it locks in one of these holes that's around as it spins. So that way it's not gonna come undone on you when you're driving on the highway, but I still bungee all my connections, so nothing's gonna get undone and tangling under the tires as I drive. So that's that. So I fixed so I drilled a hole here with the drill here, so I can align this with the bolt again, and with the nut with the long one, so I can kind of hold it in place for my reel too. It's not gonna unwind, but or you kind of bungee that, so that you can do that. So here's a hose. The garden hose. So it comes with this. You need to do a jumper hose. You need to buy a jumper hose that feeds into your pressure washer. Hold on, it's starting to rain like crazy here. Let me grab a raincoat. All right, so let's keep going. So plumbing, I guess we could do another section, but we'll see. So Garden hose needs to connect to your pressure washer. Let me move this out of the way. So this is the port for pressure washer in from the garden hose. So this is in, this line is out. So this is my whip line. It's called whip line. You can get them in different feet. Mine's like I think 5 feet I got, or 3 feet, I don't remember. I'll have to look it up through my Amazon. Flexzilla. I only do Flexzilla. I tried so many hoses. Nothing comes close to this. Get Flexzilla, get it and forget it. Best hoses on the planet. I don't know what material they make it out of, but I've tried pretty much everything in the market, return it all back. Flexzilla for the win. Stick with Flexzilla. They can have my money every time. Best hoses out there. Anyway, so that's your whip hose. It does not come with a reel. You plug it up here and you run it to the pressure washer. But before it enters my pressure washer, what I added here is a ball valve, so I can shut off my water and disconnect it with a quick connect if I need to fill my tank for where the SH is, or for any reason, wash my hands or something while it's still connected to the house. I can have control. Like, I can shut off water anytime I want, plug it back to the pressure washer. Obviously, if you cut the water to the pressure washer, kill the pressure washer because it can't run it without water constantly cycling into the pump. So if you're gonna disconnect that water hose, kill the pressure washer. Not to kill your pump, but I added my kind of like ball valve here, Amazon too. So that way quick connects, so I can disconnect. Let me see if I can do it with one hand. There we go. So I disconnect my whip hose here from my pressure washer. Then I added this filter from the house. You don't know what kind of sediments it's gonna send from the house or from the well into my pressure washer. So this is my also Amazon. I don't know how many microns of filter, but whatever. Also with the a quick disconnect in case something happens or clogs up or breaks and I need to, remove this and run a water hose directly into my pressure washer, bypassing the filter. I can do it. So anyway, so that's that. But I always run it right now for time being with the filter. So that's on the whip line for the garden hose. You will need to buy a connection that's inside the reel there. I don't know why, but Chinese designers or whoever they are, they did not include the right fitting. So you need to do an adapter there, male to male, so you can convert this. Because all houses, at least in the East Coast that I've came across, this is what goes to the house, female port. But the Chinese plumbed this reel vice versa. So this port goes inside the reel and the male goes to the house, which is wrong. So anyway, so I bought a adapter. I'll show you later. So I fit it in there and now I can use this hose. The other part fits inside the reel in there. And this is your whip hose, connects to the pressure washer. Okay, so that's enough for that. For my for my garden hose. Then plumbing for the pressure washer hose. So let's go back to the pressure washer hose. It's 3/4. Don't use 1/2 inch. I use 3/4. This is very good brand, but I tried so many of them. Stay away from Yamatic. You'll see that gray one. Piece of crap hose, super hard to work with, stiff, it's not user friendly. Not kinks, but like winds up. Like I want to get rid of the hose. This is the best one that I've had so far. Flexzilla makes one too. I'm yet to try it when I become rich, but it's a little bit tad bit expensive for my taste. Po here, I was like a German brand over there. I don't know if it's German, but Chinese probably. But whatever it is, it's kind of flexible, easy to deal with. It's a flexible hose. One thing I'd recommend, get it in black or gray, because even though they say it's not marking pressure washer hose, I'm about to either email them or talk to the lawyer, because they do mark pavements. I even have pictures and proof where if you drag this on the white concrete, it left blue marks from a customer. So I had to good thing I didn't put away my pressure washer yet. So I had to go back, hook it up and ran surface cleaner back over it and cleaned it up nicely. But the fact I had to do that. But what if I didn't catch it and the customer caught it a few days later? That would have been a service call back because of this stupid color hose, whatever they use there with dyes in this hose. It marked the driveway. So screw you guys, I need to get me black. But the hose quality itself is really good. So they're a bunch of liars. They said it's not marking, not marring, whatever. Yes, it is. So no more colored stuff for me. So from pressure washer, once you hook it up, give me a second, it's all raining here. So pressure washer, how pressure washer hose gets connected. So pressure washer hose will come with this little whip line here, where it pretty much, I mean, that's your line. My gray one's underneath there, right? So my gray one's connected first and the blue one on top. So most of the time I use the blue one first because it's the way it gets unwind from the spool first, because that's what I'm working with. It's flexible. Keep that crap hose underneath there and hidden there. Use it only in emergency as an extension, because it's connected to this blue one. You probably can't see the connection somewhere. It's connecting right there. So it gets just plugged in one into another. So if it focuses, so you'll see it there. So anyway, so your gray hose comes out here, gets connected some way here. I think that's what it is. Is it? Yeah, Yamatic right here. Do not get this brand. Do not get this brand. Very stiff hoses. Do not like them. And look at the texture difference. Like this one's like has braided cloth or whatever, versus this like feels like more like plasticky silicone, kind of like hard to describe, but much better hose, very much easier to deal with. If you guys know any better ones out there that don't break the bank and don't cost $200 per 100 feet, great. I would love to try them out, but I'm not rich that right now yet, so I have to stick to these cheap Amazon Chinese crap. But anyway, so that's how it plugs up into the in the reel. From there's a hose that you feed through the pipe that comes out over here. That's the whip line that comes with the pressure hose reel that comes with this piece. Obviously, if you're mounting it super far forward like I am here, it's this whip line is not long enough to reach my pressure washer that's all the way back there. So you do have to measure out and buy yourself an additional whip line, which I'll show you, drop you a link whichever I bought. So right there, my reel is Tool Daily. It's just off-brand, they're all the same pretty much. Besides like these super crazy professional pressure washing reels that cost $300. But I mean, I haven't tried those. I don't want to dump $300. This was like 100 something, so half the price, and I'm very happy with this reel. Easy to work with, handles comfortable, reels up pretty nice and smooth. So I'm happy. It's on there nice and firm, so no complaints from me. So this whip line that comes from the factory hooks up through this holes. I mean, through this hole that comes from the factory, and then I secured mine with zip ties to the frame of the rail, and there's my whip line to the pressure washer. So again, I'll use that pull here brand just to match my blue over there. This is a hose you gotta buy separately. These are pretty pricey. I don't know why they are. They're like a couple feet long, but they want like almost half the price of a 100-footer. But anyway, so just gets plugged into that one that comes from the factory of that reel, and then again you secure it however you want to, and that's the one that runs into your pressure washer. A lot of new guys asking like, oh, how do you know what the pressure washer pressure is? I mean, how are you gonna clean somebody's surface with the pressure washer without knowing how much pressure you're applying to their surface? I mean, that's what we see on a weekly basis, like people etching concrete and without even basic knowledge how much pressure they're blasting against that surface. I mean, if it's a new pour or a new construction, I mean, you can just obliterate this concrete. I mean, this is an old house, so you can do whatever pressure you want, I guess. I mean, too reasonably, but you need a gauge. You need a gauge to know how much you're blasting, sending the pressure down that pressure line and under the customer's surface. You can start with low and then crank it up and see where it cleans, and kind of like wherever cleans well. You got to be educated on your pressure. You can't tell the pressure without the gauge. So that's why my pressure hose reel whip that runs all the way to the reel over there plugs into my gauge. I mean, they're just generic. There's tons of them on Amazon. They all do the same thing. Just make sure they're like in liquid, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of cold right now, so it's a little bit stiff, but should operate. I don't know. Do your research on gauge. This one seems to be working fine for me, and you know what brand this is, like M Mango. All these Chinese brands are weird, like the weirdest names ever. So anyway, so Otherwise, your whip hose would plug in directly into the pressure washer. And this is your unloader valve. Mine is built in, unfortunately. I did not understand this part, but I cannot have a buffer out port here. It would normally have a bolt here where I can undo the little bolt, like a big Allen bolt, and send my water outward to the buffer tank. So I don't have that system, so my water only comes out here. So if you're gonna set down your pressure washer or your surface cleaner for 5 minutes or so and stepping away to do your hoses, fix your lines or whatever, anything beyond 5 minutes, I don't know, there's really no rule. Mine runs over 5 minutes, it's fine. Kill the engine, kill the engine. Don't overheat your pump. And while you're fixing your stuff or talking to the customer or dragging your hoses to the other side of the house or whatever you're cleaning, it takes time. Just kill the pressure washer. Don't kill it. I mean, costs thousands of dollars. Why kill the machinery? This is the heart of your operation. If this is not running, you can't clean jack. So don't break this thing. Just kill the engine. And if the engine has been warm while you're figuring your hoses, my choke is always on high. First pull, Honda engine pops up right away. It's simple and easy to do, so there's no excuse not to kill the engine and start it up on the first pull. Don't be lazy. Don't kill your machine or your pump. So anyway, so that's where your gauge is, and this is what you use to regulate your pressure. Right there, you'll see it's kind of wet, so it's kind of hard to see. Plus and minus. For more pressure, turn this way. There's a minus for less pressure, turn it this way. You will need to use, you see my teeth marks from my wrench that I use. Phenomenal wrench. I'll also drop a link from Harbor Freight. Best wrench ever. Every pressure washer should have it. It's self-leveling and everything. You don't need to ever adjust the teeth marks. As long as it wides open, you clamp it, and it's phenomenal. Like best invention ever. I'll show you, I'll drop the link, but use that to crank your pressure. Over here, you gotta do the gun test, because let's say if it's sitting at 1,000 and you crank it up, this is not gonna start normally rising up like you'd see like on an air compressor or whatever. You have to like pull the trigger and let it go so that new pressure jumps to the new level. So just a tip for you. So don't keep cranking it till the machine explodes, because this needle is still stuck at 1,000 psi. So that's just a little tip. Maybe you already knew that, I don't know. I didn't, so I had to figure that out. I did built in a pressure relief valve into my pressure washer, so just in case if there's too much pressure, it can relieve it on its own. Mine didn't come with that, so check your pressure washer. If you're buying one and it doesn't have one, just find out whatever thread that is and just buy them. They're cheap on Amazon, like $8 or something like that. It shouldn't break your bank. So anyway, so that's the pressure washer that goes into my pressure washer pump here, and that's what you regulate the pressure. And start low with the surface cleaners and everything, depending what surface you're cleaning, and regulate it with that. So know what your pressure. Okay, people are asking me, what is this? I don't have a buffer tank. Well, obviously it's SH. What else would it be? It's my chem tank. This one I believe is 15 gallon. 15 gallons of, you see how much it's a little bit almost on the bottom. I don't drive around with full chem tank. I have bigger ones at home. This is 25 gallons here. I mean, it's out right now already, so I need to go buy me more chemicals. And I bought one new off the Crazy Marketplace, put it on a little wheel dolly so I can move it around the garage, because this thing is heavy, is very heavy whenever you need to when it's full. This is 25 gallons. I took it to the local place, chemical place, pressure washer place, and they filled it up pretty quickly full. And I use a transfer pump to transfer my chemicals to here. This is concentrated 12.5%. So I mean, if you're using up more than 15 gallons on a single day, because it's a dinky little tank, and as you can see, mine's not even like maybe quarter full right now, not even half full, then sorry, this build ain't for you. You're a rock star. You're making millions of dollars. Go buy yourself a brand new truck for 60 grand and it holds a decked out trailer. You do not need this build, because if you're using that much chemicals, or maybe you don't know the percentages and you're just wasting a lot of chemicals. That could be either one. So learn your percentages, or if you're rock star and you're using out more than chemicals than that, concentrated chemical, then this build ain't for you. But I use up it's concentrated chemicals. Like I said, most of the time when you're batch mixing 1%, or I don't know, what do you need, 3% max for the concrete? I mean, why would you put 6% unless you're super dirty? This concrete right here is kind of wet, but I surface clean at my house. It was super dirty, and I dropped like maybe, I don't know, maybe 1.5%. So there's your you can use an online calculator to figure out your batch mixing. I can send you a link to that as well. This is tank I got from Doug Rucker, I believe, online. Really good guy, really solid stuff. Awesome tank. For my cam batch mixing, you can use buckets from Harbor Freight or Home Depot, Lowe's. They all do the same thing. It's just pretty much how drop a hose in there and it pulls chemicals. So for batch mixing, I mean, you're gonna use up maybe this much, maybe 1 gallon. Sometimes it's quarter of a gallon. I mean, 3/4 of a gallon of concentrated chemicals per full 5-gallon mix. You know, for a driveway this size, I probably won't even use all 5 gallons. It might use up like, I mean, I don't know. Hard to say, maybe 3-4 gallons max, I'd say. I mean, if you're using pre-treatment and post-treatment, okay, maybe 5 gallons. But my actual chem that I used up is 3/4, maybe a gallon. And the rest is water. This is all water, and you use up 1 gallon from this tank that you pumped over into this tank. You know what I mean? It's not a lot. So this is a lot of chemical to be driving around. There's no really point of driving with 50 gallons worth of chemicals unless you're rocking like massive jobs, commercial jobs or whatever, and you're going through chemicals like crazy. I don't, so I don't need it. So these big tanks can stay at home. I'm running a very lean operation on these little dinky trailer tires, and I don't need any weight, and my Prius pulls it super awesomely. Again, this is my bucket or whatever they call it, bucket, I think, on that website. It doesn't come. I bought this hose, I don't remember how much it was, 50 feet of hose, I think, from Amazon. It's stay away from silicone. I don't remember what this one was made out of. It's still flexible, but it's not silicone gets too soft, especially on hot days, because how this gets pulled into the gun. It uses suction, so it's vacuum. Once you hook it up to your gun, it uses vacuum, and that vacuum that to pull this chemicals through, it just closes up the silicone. If you get this hose too soft, vacuum just vacuums itself shut. So I sent a bunch of hoses back. This is the one that I found that works and does not close itself up whenever during vacuum, and I did not have to buy the super crazy expensive hose that was like, I don't know, over $100 from Doug Rucker School. That thing was like 100 feet of line, but I mean, I don't know. You can probably research more hoses, get whatever from your local stores, but this connection here obviously comes with a bucket, or you can buy it from Doug Rucker. I'll drop the link to him, a good guy. So this is what your comes from there. I just plumbed it here so I can shut off my chemicals. And one thing I don't like about this thing, I bought a few things I'm gonna replace this with, because this gets corroded, whatever. I don't know what material they used, but SH corrodes the crap out of this, even if I'm lubing it every single day, after multiple times throughout the day, and at the end of my work day, it still corrodes, as you can see, crazy heavily. SH is super corrosive, and it's even hard to undo it from their gun. So I don't like this system. I'm gonna try different plugs, but it comes from their factory when you're buying it, and it's really good to hook up to your gun. So that's your batch mixing. Always remember to open a cap so that way you can breathe, because otherwise it's not gonna suck chemicals if it's closed, because it needs, you know, whatever, the air pressure. And you're gonna receive this bucket. I mean, if you're buying this, I'm just gonna show you what I've done. If you're buying this, it's just gonna come with this white cap that you're probably gonna lose, because once you unscrew it, put it somewhere, it's gonna be gone. I kind of found like a bigger cap, and I drilled it out, all the threads in there, and I don't know what it is, epoxy, poured a lot of epoxy in there and factory cap on top of it or inside it, so that way it uses factory threads. And the cap that had a little, so I found this cap right here. It was from another tank that had a little piece here that usually goes, let me show you where it came from, right here. So it came from another donor tank that kind of like, with that piece that kind of goes over here, and it had that lip. So I was just fortunate to find this. I can't drop a link. I don't know, you can probably search up something on Amazon, but that's how I rigged it up. So when I open it, I just drop it there, and it's not going anywhere. I'm not gonna lose it. Or you'll just have to get really disciplined not to lose that little white cap right there. Every time you undo it, when you're doing when you're pulling chemicals from out of there, from that batch mix. So that's separate. You know, obviously you detach it and you hook it up to your gun whenever you're using XJet. By the way, that's for XJet, so I forgot to mention that's not downstreaming. And I plugged up my downstream. I do not do downstreaming at all. I do not want to send chemicals down my lines. My lines are too expensive to do that. So, and best you're gonna get what, 1.5%. Why? I can bench mix with XJet whatever percentage I want. Maybe yeah, whatever percentage I want. I can shoot 5 gallons of straight 12.5 SH if I want to through an XJet. Probably not a good idea, but I can. So I don't do my downstream at all. So my pump, not my pump, but my lines stay clean and there's no chemicals running through 200 feet of line of my hoses. So that's that on that port. My surface cleaner. Also, before my ball valve plugs into it, I have detachable another pressure gauge, because if I'm working out way out there somewhere away from my trailer, once I set the temp, not my temperature, but my PSI here, sometimes I want to double check, and because there will be a drop. I mean, if it's, let's say at 2000 PSI here, it might drop to 1800 when I'm at the trigger at full force. So I want to see that drop. Sometimes I take it off, but just to double check my pressures before I blast it straight to the surface cleaner on my customers' driveways. I can check it, whatever, remove it, but and then my lines and ball valve hooks up to that. So not really necessary. It's more luxury, but it's there if you need it. So that's my tank. So that's my concentrated tank. Getting a little carried away there, but that's pretty much my build. Let's see what else I have. My Honda factory one broke, so pull stars I had to get a aftermarket one. But I chained it up so nobody steals it. Bought a little chain thing with the key, but I mean, I don't know, depending where you live, and just secured it with a bunch of not lines, but straps that hold through the frame around my trailer, so it stays put, and these tires kind of give it a little more I guess suspension ride. So that's pretty much it on my trailer plumbing, how I plumbed it. And let me see if we can find my ball valve. All right, so ball valve is ball valve. I mean, there's nothing to it, so I can't find it somewhere in there. But anyway, another thing I wanted to show. So guys, I'd be asking like, hey, okay, so you got your chemicals there. How do you transfer chemicals from concentrated tank to your batch mix tank? And here's what I found out works. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does work, and I'm still kind of testing it out with different things. So these pumps come from Amazon. They're kind of cheap, you know. They're all plastic, so nothing crazy fancy here. So it says out here, says in here, and they have arrows showing which way the whatever you're pumping direction that it travels. So obviously arrows coming from this. I undo my hose here, my lid here, drop this piece of garden hose, which is not ideal. This one's actually not bad, because this one's all, I think it's PVC or whatever. It doesn't have any lining on there, so it's not corroding. So it's a piece of junk garbage hose that I had at home. You can buy some whip line, like a short section from Zilla. I don't know what it's going to do to the connections, if it's going to rust a lot, but you dip that into your tank there. Put the other green line hose that actually did come with the pump. Don't use that. It's a piece of crap hose. Reason being, because I'm about to replace it from after this weekend. It has this black lining, and I think it's rubber lining. So I can zoom in for you. Come on. Anyway, when I pump my SH, I see whatever I'm pumping sometimes turns black into my batch mix, or dark gray. So that tells me that it's deteriorating. I assume it's coming from this hose. Black residues coming, or whatever the SH is eating up this hose. I try to rinse it after use, but pretty much what you need is just a drill, have a couple batteries on you, plug it up, and just off you go, and it's gonna transfer into your batch mix, container, and you see the levels. Pretty much use a calculator to figure out how much you need, depending how much you're mixing. 4 gallons, 3 gallons. Sometimes I only need 2 gallons additional, so I'll pump like maybe a teeny bit of SH. Or 5 gallons, I need 1 gallon or 2 gallons or 1.5 gallons of SH. So that's what I use, and it works super well. And as you can see, there's no siphoning. I don't need to use my mouth with all the chemicals to siphon the chemicals out or whatever, or any of those hand crank pumps or whatever. Super fast and easy. Just hook up with the drill, pull the trigger, and there goes your chemicals. Transfers really fast, and it does it at pretty good speed volume. Transfers a lot of volume for a short time. So that's that. That's pretty much walk over my build in a rush. Trying to think if I missed anything. But these signs, by the way, are really good. I keep getting comments by other customers that are walking by, like, oh, you have your marketing down. So definitely invest in these A-frame signs. I don't have double side signs because it makes no sense. I put one on the back side of the car facing that road, and one wherever it is. I had another sign somewhere. I thought I saw it somewhere. No, it's over there. So and I put one on this back side of the car and one in front of the side of the car, facing that side, facing that way. So people traveling that way or that way, they can read the sign. I see a lot of people slowing down by my sign, whether they're taking pictures or what, I don't know. But whatever you do, make sure, I kind of screwed up on this one, make sure your phone number is the biggest thing on this sign. Nobody really cares about your brand. Nobody cares what your company's called or your LLC or whatever. You want them to see what you're doing, how to get in touch with you, and maybe some little list of little dinky services, or what are you offering. But on my car, I don't have my car here, but it says 15% off for new customers. So anyway, so they see that too in my car. So anyway, that I got a lot of compliments on that just from customers who walk by, and I see a lot of cars slow down as I'm working somewhere farther on the driveway, and I see cars just slowing down right by my sign, is reading it, maybe taking pictures. I don't know. We'll see how they work, but definitely good investment. Yeah, and this is just printed, look, whatever, the same material, plastic that yard signs is made out of. That's pretty much 2 yard signs put together, printed together. Anyway, so that's another little tip. But if you have any specific questions, let me know. But that's pretty much my build, how I plumbed it, everything I need to wash a house, to do pre-treat of my concrete, to do post-treat with my concrete, to batch mix desired percentage that I need. If I need to hit vinyl house with like 2% or whatever, again, back mixing is for the win. And do not use injector. It's anyway, it works for me. Yeah, you got to drag this around, just get a longer hose, set it in the middle, set the bucket in the middle, whatever, with a lot of lines, so you can pre-treat all this driveway without moving this bucket around much. So the longer clear hose you get, the farther you can spray, I guess circumference, I guess the right word is, from that tank. Because 5 gallons is kind of heavy. You don't want to be carrying in your hands constantly when you're spraying. But I mean, if you're a man, shouldn't be an issue. If you're a baby, maybe you might have an issue. But there you go. That's my build. It works. I'm happy with it. It's pretty lean, super lightweight. Like I said, this trailer, even this trailer, like I can pick it up and maneuver my trailer with single handed. It's kind of down the hill right now, so, but I can push it around with one hand. It's not too heavy, and my car pulls it just fine.